Hey, well, good Friday afternoon, everyone. I hope that everybody's doing well. I hope that you've had a great week. I hope that you're planning to have a great weekend. I hope that you're planning on this Mother's Day weekend to see your mothers if she's still alive, and to wish her a happy Mother's Day. Mothers have a great influence and have a great opportunity to influence their children. And if she's influenced you, if your mother influenced you, and I'm sure she has, in some positive way, then you need to certainly thank her for that and appreciate her. You say, well, my mother wasn't someone who influenced me spiritually. Well, she brought you into this world and she deserves your respect and honor. So just love on your mother, uh, regardless. But mothers, as I think about mothers, you have such a powerful influence over children, and children who are being influenced by so many bad things. Our schools are influencing and brainwashing our children in so many ways. The public school system, and really not teaching them the gospel, really not teaching them biblical principles anymore. That's the reason homeschooling has become so popular. And mothers, you just have a tremendous influence. I mean, what's the saying? The one who rocks the cradle rules the world, something like that. Really, the mothers that rock those cradles and influence those children. If every mother and every father influenced their children for the Lord, for Jesus Christ, raised them up and taught them godly principles, think about what our world would be like today. That's the reason our founding fathers made the institutions like Harvard and Yale and all these great institutions at the beginning of our founding to be Bible colleges that taught the Bible and taught the Word of God, because they knew, as so went the family and so went the church, so went the nation. And if we strayed away from our biblical preaching and strayed away from biblical teaching, which had to start at home, it had to start at home, and then them to church and have them to come to church and be a part of a church. But if it didn't start at home, if it doesn't start with the family and the mom and dad first, it won't stick. It won't stay. So you mothers and you fathers, but today's mothers, this weekend's Mother's Day, you mothers have a tremendous influence. One of your biggest mission fields, your greatest mission fields, mothers, is your children. And so to love them and nurture them and teach them in the love of Jesus Christ and teach them the Word of God is one of the most important jobs in the world. And my wife did a great job with my children in teaching them biblical principles, and also now teaching my grandchildren that. So you have a great influence, mothers. And as I look at the Bible, I love the story in the Bible, and I love the letter in the Bible that Paul wrote to Timothy. And the verses in chapter 1, verse 3 of 2 Timothy, listen to what he writes. This is Paul writing to Timothy, and he says, I thank God, whom I serve with a pure conscience, as my forefathers did, as without ceasing I remember you in my prayers night and day, greatly desiring to see you, being mindful of your tears, that I may be filled with joy when I call to remembrance the genuine faith that is in you, that dwelt first in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice. I am persuaded in it I am persuaded is in you also. Excuse me, I can't read this morning. The first was in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Lewis, and I'm persuaded is in you also. Therefore, I remind you to stir up the gift of God which is in you through the laying on of my hands. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Timothy's grandmother and his Lois and his mother Eunice were great influences on his life, taught him the Word of God. Think about how much Timothy has influenced the whole world as Paul wrote him this letter, and as God used Timothy to help Paul, teaching the early churches the Word of God. Just to think, if all mothers, we could read about Can you put your grandmother in there? My grandmother, Mary Alice, and my mother, Sarah, who taught me the Word of God and who raised me up right, weren't perfect mothers. They messed up. Your mother's not perfect. She'll mess up. But they tried the best they could to teach you in the ways of God. To think about how much influence Timothy had in the early church. How much influence your children could have if you would teach them the Word of God. And it's important, mothers. And so I pray for you, mothers. I'm thankful for you, mothers. And I really pray that you would raise your children in a godly home. Realize how important you are. Realize that I know your job seems mundane and you feel like I'm not getting anywhere, and am I doing any good? Am I making any influence on these children at all? Yes, you are. I can guarantee you are. So thank you, mothers, and keep up what you do. We love you, and we just pray that all you mothers and all you fathers and all you children will all be in church Sunday somewhere. Love to see you at Calvary, and Calvary folks, we'll see you there. God bless you, and I hope you have a great Mother's Day weekend.